Name game.
The name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme. out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, on M will appear. And then I say bow at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foe. Then I say the name again with an F, very plain. Then a fee, fi, and a mo. Then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Krellin, 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 Bobellin, Banana, Fanna, Fofelin, Fee, Fi, Mo, Melona. Krellin the melon felon. The name game. Hi everybody, how you doing? So I have to tell you all some things, but where's I've got my chat way up there, but also I have it down here. Hi everybody. So Rissa is playing in this game set on Mars, and just gave an update. So, Mars update. The De Silva family just got someone outlawed in their city, or rather, he chose outlawry over facing the judge. Our illegitimate but very nice half-brother that we only recently discovered is heading back to his own city now that the vendetta is done. My character is dating a very nice lieutenant, and we will see if that eventually results in a wedding. Aw, it seems like everything's going really well. And I'm sure it will stay that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure nothing will happen to disrupt all of the niceness in any way. So, hi everybody. How are you? How's it going? Welcome. You know, we're playing the Rain World. Well, our sister-in-law did lose a pregnancy as part of what triggered the vendetta. Not great. So, how are y'all doing? I am so glad to be here. By the way, I cannot play later than 3 today because I am going to be in a stream. It's offline, so I haven't advertised it so much because it's not technically until next week. So June 8th and 15th, so the next 2 Saturdays, I will be in a stream over on Stella Luna's channel for Our Brilliant Ruin, a brand new RPG that I kickstarted. I would show you the book, but the physical book isn't here yet. But we're actually pre-recording it. We're recording it today, so I've got a stream today. Hello, Cal TWT. It's next week. So today I'm doing all the recording for it. It's just a 2-shot, and I'm doing all the recording for it today. We have a call time, I think, 4:30. We'll be at it for a bit. But it will all drop the next 2 Saturdays. So that's going to be my what I'll be advertising. I'm very excited about that. Also, I've got a brand new show that's premiering, a little short shot, a little mini series that's premiering on Monday. But I'll tell you all about that at the end. Monday over at the Wandering Inn. Well, I'm going to tell you now. Monday at the Wandering Inn at. I've got to go and see without my ears came in. Monday, Wandering Inn at 2 p.m. Eastern. I will be in I think a 4 or a 6 shot. I think it was supposed to be a 6 shot, but it might be a 4 shot of a game called Overgrown, and that's where we're all animals in a very Redwall sort of game. And then that Saturday, I have got Our Brilliant Ruin, which is sort of an Edwardian, sort of post-apocalyptic Edwardian, no, not post-apocalyptic, impending apocalyptic. pre-apocalypse, anyway, Edwardian horror excitement. And those are like this is going to be a week. Yeah. So, this is what's going on. Anyhow, I've got things. Oh, golly gee. So here's what's going to happen. Since we have so little time, what I'm going to do is start playing so that, we can chat about what's going on. If the apocalypse was happening, it's apocalyptic. Yeah, I suppose it's apocalyptic. But full disclosure, Krellin, the thing that's happening in my mind, why I'm having trouble with the word, is because I keep wanting to say apocalyptica, which is the string quartet that does Metallica covers. Right? Isn't that them? Yeah. So the problem is I'm supposed to just say apocalypse, but I keep wanting to say apocalyptica. So in case you were wondering what is happening in my mind, that was it. That was what's happening in my mind. Speaking of, we've got to figure out where we are. Good band. They do metal on cellos. Apocalyptica are dope. Right? Hey, Schmelzer, wie geht's? Right, this is what I'm saying. Apocalyptica, they're dope. All right, so by the way, this is where we're at. We're right here, right? We've done a really good job. What we want to do is come all the way down here, go all the way across, and then we need to go either... going down, as it turns out, takes us to where we've already been. So what we want to do instead is go up. This is where we're going. So that's our goal. Down, over, up, and then, exploring from there is what it looks like. We have... That's what we've got to do. And then from there, one of these directions. That's us. Also, Schmelzer, wie geht's? Was gibt's Neues? No. Nope. Excuse me. Excuse me for a moment. Let's just do that, shall we? Let's just do that. Let's not do that. I would really love to eat all of those bats that are hanging out, because those bats are food, and food is tasty. But right now, that is happening. Right there. Just right... I would like to know why they don't love me. Hawkeye! Hawkeye. By the way, Hawkeye, besides making... Where did y'all come from, everybody? Oh, excuse me. Woo! Pardon me. Yeah. We're gonna... I mean... Hawkeye, besides making very, very cool GM screens, also does great filk. I'm eating some bats. I'm hoping that I don't get killed by monsters that are just waiting to kill me in ways that are rude. I'm just trying to get some, what do you call it? I feel weird about the fact that I keep hearing the music that says the bad guy is here, but I don't see the bad guy, and that kind of, I find that a little disconcerting, you know? Oh no! I see what's happening. Excuse me. There's a lizard. That's what's happening right there. There's a lizard, and that is also not what I want. It's I've got to... Oh, excuse me. Hi, there we go. Let's not have that happen. Okay, so... No, I lost my little... I would like to get my... So I would really like to get my little worm friend back. This is a bad time. It's a bad time. That's okay. Hi, little worm friend. Ooh. Okay, so, got my worm friend. Not being eaten by anybody. I feel like, we're good. I mean, we've lost a lot of time, but... I'm a little like, I've got feelings. My feelings are, do I just... Yeah, I'm gonna just try to get bats. You know when you're ready to eat the bats and then they just leave? Do you ever have that happen? Because I do. I seem to have that happen a lot. I'm afraid there won't be food anywhere else. You know what? We're gonna go. We don't have time for this. Even though... hello, Ninja Gerbil. How are you? Checking in for a short time before I go to work. I'm having a great day. So we had our... Okay, so here's one of the problems we have, just in case you're wondering. The lizard that... Okay, wait, the lizard's gone. This is great. The lizard is right there, so that's not the greatest. That's a problem, because the lizard is right there. I don't know. Look, I'm going to say something to you all. Why? Why does the lizard hate me so much that it has to be up in my personal space where I don't want it to be, you know? Oop. Because I never asked for the lizard to be there, to harass me. There it is. Oh. So one of the tricky things is that we all have a limited time to escape, you know, to get out of here, and it's just right there. You know what I could do? I can maybe wait. Maybe it'll... Oh, wow. What is it doing? That's bad. So anyway, I'm gonna just see what's... Oh, I did not want to go out. Excuse me. Excuse me right there. I'm gonna just, not... Yeah, so anyway, we had, I think I'm good with food. So, it's been a lovely time on the Gamblers. I am very excited by what we had happen last night. An assassination attempt. Well, no, that's actually not fair. An assassination. And it's too bad our doctor was not here because, you know... maybe turn on extra for check. No, I can't do it yet. Not ready. So the thing is, I still have a bunch of assets that people have donated last time, so we still have those. So I think we'll probably actually turn on extra credit. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. We'll either turn on extra credit for the last session itself, or we'll turn it on first session of the new season. That's what I'm thinking. Because I still have a bunch of... Anyway, look, I've got things that are very exciting to me to tell you. They're not... Oh, excuse me. We're not all... Why am I getting monster sounds? We're not all ready yet, but... I have now confirmed dates. So look, I finally have had the chance to look at my schedule. It's not 100% finished yet, but ooh, we're getting closer. And the big thing is an overview of what days do I have to game and how much time and how much time do I have. Let's go back down here. Oh no! Excuse me, I lost my little friend. Oh! And I just... got eaten. Oh heck! Hold on. Don't update the death yet. Wait. How much death do we have right now as our starting? I have to write it down. 328. Okay. We can now add death. I didn't want to. I need my count so I can see how many times we've died over and over and over again, because that's important. Okay. Also, what is going on there? Would our brave critter be a DC Comics villain if they tried to eat Bat? Oh, I just had a thought, actually. I just had a thought. I have a thought. So I'm. At least I got. I do try. You know what I mean? I do try to help. So I think even though it's not. Look, there are no bats here at all. Not great. The lizard is there. I don't think it's appropriate for this lizard to just be there. Just, there are bats now, apparently. Just hanging out. Anyhow, also, why do I have something in my hand? I don't want to have something in my hand. I want to just eat bats. So anyhow, everybody, a lot of gaming. Oh, I know what I want to tell you. So I've been trying to figure out what my gaming schedule is going to be like over the summer, where I can figure out.
We're in the money.
Oh, excuse me. Hey, Atomica, how you doing? We just got some bits from Atomica. I wanted to figure out my streaming schedule so I can figure out when I can put in various games that I want to do. And I have to tell you, it's been a little bit difficult because I'm in an offline recorded game that is every other Saturday, which kind of basically kills my Saturdays, so I can't actually do anything on Saturdays besides this game because unless it's a one shot, but I can't do 2 shots or 3 shots, and things like Cthulhu Confidential, that kind of stuff. Those are not one shots; those are like 2 or 3 shots. So basically, Saturday's completely off the table for me as a game until this game is over, as a day to gaming until this game is over. But I have no idea when it's going to be over. So my Saturday's basically non-functional, which is really tough because I tend to need my weekends for those things. But I do have Sundays, and I have scheduled Night's Black Agent solo. Remember 2 years ago I did the Night's Black Agent solo with Greg? And so now I'll be doing the next one with Ari, and that'll be the next Season of Death. And then I do have plans to get 2 more people to do that solo, which is very awesome. And I've also reached out about Cthulhu Confidential. So if all goes well, this will be the summer of some Cthulhu Confidential and also Night's Black Agent solo, which will be really good. That's like an excitement on my end. You're late. It's okay. I stay up late too after a game. I'm doing good. I made a really fun breakthrough idea in your cul-de-sac vacuum. Oh, you should say more. So I've got Night's Black Agents, and that's going to be coming up really soon. That's coming up mid to end of June. And then I don't yet know, I cannot say anything about the Cthulhu Confidential because I need scheduling, right? We have to work on scheduling on that. I now have also scheduled Adventure 3 of Sandman, so that's coming up. After the SOD with Greg, I would love to see a Cthulhu Confidential with him too. Yeah, I mean, he's good. And so the game has caretakers who are the relative big bad of the scenario. Yes. I got to bed soon after your game. I'm old. Midnight is late for me. Oh, yeah, no, yeah. No. I mean, yeah. So, midnight's early for me. So I've got the Sandman scheduled. That's on the books. I've got the next Seasons of Death on the books. I've got inquiries out for Cthulhu Confidential, which will have to be late July, August. And what's next on my plate? So, we run on Fridays every Friday. Um, because the Sandman is going to be in July, that gives me 3 open sessions after the Gamblers end next Friday before the Sandman starts up again. Or basically, so what I'm trying to say is, I have learned from the last 2 times we did Crash Jones that I need 5 sessions for Crash Jones, and we will have those 5 sessions. Here's what I thought. I thought I was going to do Crash Jones right after the Gamblers ended, and then do other stuff. But as it turns out, from timing, because of when the Sandman's going to show up in there, I'm going to be doing Crash Jones at the end of the summer, right before the next season of the Gamblers start up. So I'm going to be doing Crash Jones in August. So Crash Jones will be August. Sandman will be the end of July. So I have 3 sessions after the end of the Gamblers next week and the beginning of Sandman. And I've got to figure out what I'm going to do in those 3 sessions. And here's what I'm thinking. I want to tell you what I'm thinking. So what I'm thinking is, because I had to basically, it's taken a bit for me to figure out what's going on. I also have to still schedule the Fireside Storytellers, which will probably be on one of the Sundays. It could be one of those off Saturdays. And the arena game that I want to do before the summer ends. Those are all things I've got on my plate. I was asked to do a different thing, and I don't know when I'll have the space to do it. These three Fridays coming up would be good, except the turnaround time's too short. I never ask people to be in a game. I always ask people to be in a game like at least 2-3 weeks out. Like, I give a lot of lead time for things that are. I always give a lot of lead time for games, especially if I'm casting people on my, not my, like, I'll tell you this. Lindy's the kind of person that if I have a thing coming up next week and I can ask her and she'll be like, yeah, I'll do it or not, right? She's okay. But generally with and I've played with her enough that I feel good about that. But for like other sorts of things, I tend to want to have a lot more lead time. So I'm going to probably want to do something solo for these 3 sessions before we start up again, before we do the Sandman again. But I only have 3 sessions. So I've got a couple of thoughts, a couple of options, something I was really thinking about, but I can't tell you because I've not decided. But I do need to decide real quick. Rissa, thank you. I will thank you for telling me to enjoy the Deadly Game, and have a great weekend. But also, I'm going to sing We're in the Money, as sung by Ginger Rogers in the film Gold Diggers of 1933, which means I'm going to sing it in Pig Latin. Airway and hey, the honey may. Airway and hey, the honey may. Ewayat galeat way of way at wit weeks to tit gale young way yo. Airway and hey, the honey may. The ice skates are on say. Only and the action pray, we are a ooh, west end we young ray. Even eat red leon say, have we had Brian say, day. And we see the end, the order will look that the eye got right in the eye. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Thank you for those bits. Thank you so much. Did you know I got a donation sometime after the last Gamblers, but after the stream had ended, of $500 with no message, anonymous. And that's great. I don't know who did it. Thank you. I've got to tell you all on stream on Friday. But on Friday, I'm going to be able to, what is today, the 1st yet? On Friday, I'll be able to go over the finances and write up the next after action report for the Patreon. But the thing is, that's what I should be doing this week. So this week, I've got to finish my syllabus for the prison class, work on my academic book, write a song for for writing between the lines. I've got a bunch to do this week, and one of the things I want to do is figure out what I'm doing after the Gamblers ends. There's some options. Like I could continue with Testocles for 3 sessions. Our 2d6 dungeon, which we haven't finished. I could do that. Could try out 5 parsecs from home. I've kickstarted a bunch of solo RPGs, which are all hanging out here, and I should probably do one of them. I'll ponder it. Anyway, I want to figure that out before I do the Patreon letter. Let's see. What do we have here? The player needs to face consequences to either get supplies or make up for getting caught breaking rules. So I not only designed a damage track that I haven't named yet that would have 3 favors, 2 demands, 2 minor punishments, then major punishments, which are very punishing. I also started designing cards that would be used to pull favors, demands, punishments, but I will also be making specific cards for the 5 default caretakers that can get shuffled into the decks to reflect their styles. Oh. Have you checked out... Probably not. Uprising? This is a Fate game. Interesting. I just realized that the word Fate is not on the cover anywhere. This is Fate, though. This is a Fate book. And if you've ever played, I don't know if you've ever played Coup, which is in the other room, the card game, the social deduction game, the party game, Coup, where it's a fun game to play. But this game here is set in that universe, and Salmic has played Coup. You're waiting for your class's release on Canvas tomorrow. Nice. Oh, yeah. Coup is fun. And the thing about Coup is that this is set in the Coup universe, but it is Fate. So your French resistance, maybe that's why I have it. That's not the only reason. Your French resistance in Nouveau Paris, so New Paris, and it is Fate, but I believe one of the things that's interesting about it, did I do it or did somebody else do it? I think I made cards. Yeah. This is what it is. So you have secrets. So in this game, everybody has a card, a secret card, which gives them information about who they are, because somebody might be the mole. Everybody has secret agendas in this particular game, and there's some so if you said cards, and I was like, oh yeah, these have secret agenda cards. Also, oh, you know what? You know what I should do? I just realized what I should do. Everybody. I just realized. No, I shouldn't. Maybe I should. I shouldn't. Eat food? I don't know. Maybe. I was looking over there, and it just reminded me. I'm going to get something and show you. Hold on. It's just right over there. You don't have to... I'm not going anywhere. Just going over here. I'm back. I hope you didn't miss me. Vola says, rodent-themed spy games. Spotting a mole would be rather easy. Would it? But what if moles were able to disguise themselves as rats? Uh, hey, Artie, how are you? So good. I know that book down. I'll have to look at it. So I have to show you something. It's a little bit of a show and tell. But Max said, I have a question about your game last night, though. Is Lady Hill dead, or is there a chance with the high tech of Traveler she could still survive? Oh, sniper rifles do a lot of damage. It really depends on Val, you know? That's a bit of a question. Bit of a question there. Yeah. So, Pyrisa, I'm waiting for my classes to release on Canvas tomorrow, right? Time to lurk and mow. Oh, it's a jungle out there. I love that. So, here's what I was thinking. And this is, I shouldn't do it, but I was just thinking about it. I figure the favors and demands have to be completed to be healed from the track. If it's order donuts, I haven't had donuts in a while. Rodent themes, we missed you. Oh, so if a favor card is work extra shifts this week, take exhaustion status for the next session, then it would go away. But demands may be more PvP like. So Trooper, you got caught setting a bag of flour. You need to place a tracer on Max's phone. Nice. Fair enough. I know in Planet Mercenary, if you save a fresh head, you can regenerate the body. Eclipse Phase has backups. No, Traveler does not have backups. Because Traveler is actually, Traveler's a little bit more older school version of sci-fi than that. So, I do have a show and tell, but I thought that I would give you a quick look, including what could be the thing that I could do but shouldn't do. So I just got this new game called Adversary. Very little tiny RPG. It says, a long journey of triumph and despair has led you and your allies to this moment. Whether you are victorious or fail, the world will forever change. Adversary is a game about a group of heroes at the climax of their story, drawing on their experiences to defeat the bad guy and create a better world. Imagine each session of Adversary like the final battle of a Dungeons & Dragons campaign mixed with storytelling mechanics from games like A Quiet Year. During play, you will narrate this final confrontation while describing the experiences that brought you to it. Fast-paced play for up to 4 players, play with or without a GM, sessions last 2 to 3 hours, clever mechanics reward teamwork, custom deck of cards sold separately. Did I not get those? So this was, I read about this, that seemed kind of fun. It seemed like a kind of a fun thing to do for a one-shot to check stuff out. Seemed kind of cool. I was interested. But that, I also got Wizard Van, the role-playing game where rock never dies. Are you ready to rock? So this is an RPG that, I've noticed recently a bunch of music-themed RPGs coming out, and so I'm trying to get them all. I'm sure I have not gotten all of them, and I'm sure I'm missing some. But this is one of them, and I got it. There's another one which is in Kickstarter, I think. Hey, Volpez. So I think I might be missing a couple. If anybody, I've got the radio one, Void, which maybe I could do that for that 3-session interim. Maybe. Anyhow, Wizard Van, the radio one I have. There's this other one which is being Kickstarted. It's like a punk rock one. Surely, punk-themed RPG game is dead. I don't know if I got the Faith. I don't know if I got but the Faith No More one isn't. I don't think I have that one. Everybody has to remind me so I can. Because look, this is what I have to do for my life. You know what I mean? Also for academic stuff. But the thing that I might need to do is right here. Let's see. Trooper says, Atomica, do you remember the name of the game you played last year where you had to roll dice to figure out your family history, their wealth and notoriety and such? Atomica, can you say more? Can you say more? Was it a solo game? Was it a group game? Can you tell me more? Tell me more. And then I will tell you more. Give me more context. So here's the thing. I kickstarted something, and it has arrived. And the question is, do I do this? There are many reasons why I say no or yes. So if you know Gaming Ballistic, Douglas Cole, he's a longtime GURPS contributor, writer, and he's been doing third-party GURPS stuff. He's been publishing GURPS things under licensed stuff. GURPS does not have an open gaming license, but you can contact them and make a pitch and all that. So he kickstarted, which I kickstarted, and he put out Sethor's Bane, which is with these cards, quick reference cards, which is a I wonder if I have these on PDF. Anyway, so this is a solo GURPS adventure for Dungeon Fantasy. And I thought, what if we did this for those 3 sessions that we in June? We could do a GURPS fantasy. I mean, I haven't finished Testocles. Anyway, this was I just wanted to share, right? So I've got it here, and there's pretty cool art in here. It's a solo session that's because the last thing we did solo was 2D6 Dungeon, which we didn't finish, by the way. Testocles, which is like procedurally generated dungeon crawl, and this is but then again, that was fantasy, and this is also fantasy. On the other hand, this is not a procedurally generated dungeon crawl. I'll think about it. I'll think on it. Anyway, what I was saying is that's a possibility, because I just got it. I just got it in the mail, which is exciting. So, Vulpes. I believe it was a group game. I'm not sure you actually got past the character building. I believe it was set in Prohibition South. Oh, right. Okay. Yes, Krellin. Krellin says, I think Atomica means the game Prax made out of those other 2 games, Carousel Court. Yes. Yeah, that was Carousel Court. That's over on Praxagor, the Smophoria's channel. We ran that for 24 sessions. Excuse me. Yeah. The cord got caught on my chair. Cannot have it. Yes, Carousel Court was over on Praxagor, the Smophoria's channel. Ran for 24 sessions, I believe. And I normally link to the shows I'm in. So on my YouTube channel, I will often link out to the shows I've been on other channels if they have a playlist. And I don't think her playlist was up yet. Let me, you've just reminded me. Let me check, because these things matter to me. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Let me go to my channel. Let's see. Videos. Tabletop action on the foxhole, out in the field. Player edition. Oh. It's not there. Hold on. Here's the question. Is the playlist available? Prax is usually pretty good about this. Gora, the Smophoria. Let's see. There's Prax. Prax's book club. Shorts, videos, playlists. Aha! Carousel Court is here. I'm going to link you the playlist, and then I'll make sure. Thanks for reminding me that I need to put this. I've just pulled the tab up, so I now know. I will be reminded once we get off stream that I have to link that. I do. You also may not know this about me, but I tend to have pretty good records of all the things I do, and I'm going through them right now. And I clearly have. I'm in the process of seeing if there are any shows that I did in other channels that I have not linked. I'm stalled a little bit, I think, in 20. Anyway, I'm like, clearly, I haven't put up that one, and I need to do so. And I will. I'm looking forward to getting a little housekeeping done uh, on the channel over the summer, and also working on my book. Yeah, it started in the 1940s, Atomica, and it ended in the 2000s. Uh, the real one was the first one, and yeah, it's kind of modern corp versus punk kind of stories. The second is King for a Day, should be shipping soon. Oh, link me of this stuff in the Discord. I never got to watch Castle Court, so I just remember the character building. Yeah. Max says, tell me more, tell me more. Was it solo or group? Tell me more, tell me more. Was it Tales from the Loop? Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Summer gaming had me a blast. Summer gaming happened so fast. I got some dice. My PC nearly drowned. Anyway, you know what? Also, Colonial Gothic is coming out with a new edition on Kickstarter. Oh, really? You should link it. You should link it. So, by the way, did I show you this thing I Kickstarted that came in? Did I? What? Did I show you? I don't know if I did. I haven't taken the shrink wrap off yet, but this is by. Dang it, y'all! Look, I have to tell you, and this is my life, and it's very difficult right now. I have a very hard life, and that is, I've got 3 sessions that I want to do something solo in, but only 3. So I don't know if I should do Dungeon Fantasy, do more TD6. I've got some other things, the radio one. Anyhow, I got this game. It's from Van Ryder Games, and I know Van Ryder Games from they do the Final Girl, which is like, oh, I could play Final Girl. I could figure out how to set up Final Girl. We could do that. Look, I don't want to talk about it. I can't think about it now. But anyway, they did this RPG, which seemed really cool. Revenant Society. By the way, this particular color scheme is the exact same color scheme as Our Brilliant Ruin, which I'm doing today, filming today, and you can watch for the next 2 Saturdays. But this came in, which is by Banana Chan and Sen Fung Lim. And this is one where you play a character who dies over and over again to solve your murder. Yes. It's got a good box. It could always have Solo Wednesday. I can't because Wednesday I'm GMing Good Society over on Laugh Love Lindy's channel, right? So I'm GMing Good Society on Laugh Love Lindy's channel all summer. So there's that. But here is, right, a map of New York. I feel like a lot of games are sort of hanging out in that Gilded Age, Victorian era right now. Why? I don't know. Yeah, they do. So here's the book itself. Very nice. The endless loop beneath the city. Solve the mystery of your own death in this role-playing game. So you die, and you have to solve your death. Here's the pitch. You've died. It happens to the best of us. Sorry, I was just pondering, like, what was the last thing I did solo? Anyway, you died. It happens to the best of us. As you sit in the waiting room of the afterlife, you have time to reflect. From the looks of it, you'll have a while. The gray faces around you look like they have been waiting for an eternity. Is that person wearing a toga? Music pipes in from an unknown source, as drab as the surroundings. You think about taking a nap, but then, in that haze of boredom and sleepiness, you ask yourself, who am I? How did I get here? You don't remember. Your number is called. You don't know how long you sat waiting or when you grabbed a ticket, but you shuffle to the desk and wait to receive the judgment of your life. But then, what if there was, that should be were, if there, I'm going to just correct that grammar, if there were unfinished business you needed to resolve? And what if that business directly involves how your life was unexpectedly cut short? You're sent back to the living to resolve these questions. If only you could remember who you were. The Revenant Society, The Endless Loop Beneath the City, is a role-playing game, RPG, for 2 to 4 players acting as the Revenants, and one Fate Weaver, Game Master, leading the story. Starting in either the 19-teens Paris or 1920s New York, Revenants work together to navigate the thin veil between themselves and the living, unravel the mystery of why they haven't moved on, and prevent the shattering event from happening again. If they do not solve the mystery before it happens, they will start the time loop over again. Resetting the clock may be helpful, because the details of the Revenant's life are hazy, and each time they jump back to the beginning, they remember more. Revenants use time and moves to hunt down leads in the form of memories that emerge from their rotting synapses. Those memories help create the non-playable characters, NPCs, that will give them clues as to what happened to them. But there is danger. Watchers, malevolent undead beings trapped between life and limbo, will try to prevent the Revenants from succeeding, fail too many times, and they will be stuck in that loop forever. Are doomed to repeat those same events with no hope of eternal rest. The afterlife is only the beginning. Seems fun, huh? So, Raid World the RPG, right? That seems really fun. So I got this because I thought the concept was really neat. One of the only other games I know that involves, as a concept, dying multiple times is Phoenix Dawn. Yeah, Phoenix Dawn. And sadly for me, if I wanted to run that game, which I would love, it's card-based, and there's no digital version of that game. So I'd have to hand scan all of the cards before I could actually run it. Which, think about that later. Look at this. Very cool sort of GM screen. Half size, not super tall. Just little half size, which is kind of fun. I have a thought about that in a second. And then these very cool map of intrigue, draw allies where necessary to keep track of NPCs. This looks like it's a sort of a dry erase thing. Mini campaign loop. Whoop. Character sheets is in the form of big cards. You have the grizzled, miserable and jaded, but with a kind heart underneath that tough exterior. The compassionate, caring and nurturing to a fault, but can pick up red flags quickly. The philosophical, head in the clouds and constantly curious, but easily distracted and a bit of a scatterbrain. The diplomatic, a convincing speaker and loud voice, though stubborn at times. The hopeful, enthusiastic, naive, always looking forward to a better future, even if there isn't one. The glamorous, confident and flamboyant, but has a hard time shying away from the limelight when they need to. And looking at the stats, there are 4 of them, and they're basically, this looks like it's a Powered by the Apocalypse game, is what I would say. And check it out. It comes with dry erase markers, little miniatures, more dry erase markers, special fancy dice, cool cards of people. I have a thought about this, everybody. And tokens. I have thoughts. I'm going to tell them to you right now as I put this game away. So this looks really neat, and I just had a thought about this. I have thoughts about this. My thoughts. Hey, Lonku, wie geht's? Servus. Grüezi miteinander. Hallo, Lonku. Grüß dich. Grüezi. Was machst denn du denn? Was gibt's Neues? Na und? I kind of miss Germany. Just gonna put it out there. I wish I could go back to Germany and visit. Like to go. I want to go back to Augsburg. I want to go visit my peeps. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I guess not now. So here's my thoughts. This game. So Powered by the Apocalypse, which is fine. I think that Powered by the Apocalypse games are really. Oh, you can see by the binding, it's made to look like a book. Cool. I think Powered by the Apocalypse games are hit and miss. I think some are really brilliant. I think some are just bad. And here's why. I think some are really... So here's what I think the problem with Powered by the Apocalypse is. That there are a bunch of people who are like, oh, it must be really easy to make a Powered by the Apocalypse game. And so they just file off names, write in new names, and they make this game. But the game itself doesn't actually thematically work. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll just like make new play sheets and that's the game. But Powered by the Apocalypse has kind of punishing mechanics and people don't always get it. And so I think there are a number of Powered by the Apocalypse games that are not really well thought through. Not like, you know what I mean? They're just like, oh, these are mechanics, right, but it's not really great. This looks like they really did a lot of thinking on it, so that's pretty cool. But what I wanted to say was, my thought was, this RPG is produced by a game company, not an RPG company, but a board game company, Van Ryder Games. And I feel like you can tell, and I'm not mad about it. I think it's pretty cool. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Hi, Theo. How are you? I might be able to watch this Wednesday. No game for me. Taking my dog Christy to the neurologist. Hopefully they find nothing. Oh, I hope they find nothing either, Max. So in the Good Society game, we did character creation last time in the first half of the first cycle, which was all the upstairs characters. But this time we'll be playing the downstairs character. We'll be creating the downstairs characters. Yeah, I think I'm in trouble. I forgot. Yeah. Playing the downstairs. We're going to create the downstairs characters, which will be just a lot more drama, and that'll be exciting times. Let's see. Man, this Gilded Age Pulpocetic is making me want to play Eberron. Oh, I had one of the best D&D campaigns I've been in was an Eberron campaign, as it turns out. That was I would just like to eat bats. You know? Just because I need food. I don't think these bats want me to eat them, and that's going to be that's sad for me. You know what we're going to do? We're going to just stop being tempted. No bats. They just tempt me, and it's very frustrating. Because... Hey, look! Oh, the lizard is there. The lizard is there, which is not what I wanted. But the lizard is not exactly where... The lizard... I have no food, which is real bad, and I would like to get food, but I can't afford it because the lizard is not there at the moment. So, if the lizard isn't there, we're just gonna go. I'm a little sad about this because I'm a little concerned that I'm gonna die later without enough food, or like I'm gonna find the. You know what though? I'm probably gonna. Ooh, bats. Sorry. Oh, lizard! Ah! Nope. Hi. I'm Trooper SJP. I was just freaked out by a lizard who just showed up for no reason where I did not want him to. In case you were curious as to about what just happened right there, that's what happened. Just thought I'd share. I'm going to read chat. Yeah. Sounds like their version of Time Stories with less escape room style puzzles. Time Stories was really fun, Volpez. I really enjoyed that game. I would like to play it more. I love landscape GM screens. Okay, Max Ryder, don't let me forget about landscape GM screens. I wanted to say something about it, and then I forgot, and then you reminded me, so let me come back to it. Don't let me forget. Lone Cool. How fancy are the dice? I still prefer ones with numbers instead of symbols. Has numbers. Van Ryder games are also known for the graphic novel adventures, a series of choose-your-own-adventure style bunch of graphic novels, including a bunch of Sherlock Holmes ones that are great. Okay. I'm back. I'm back. You started it. So, these are them. I wanted to get the first season because the first season had the, you can buy them as like a box sets. And the first season had the Sherlock, had some stuff that I really wanted, but the first season is all sold out. So I could not get the first season. So I got this one, which I think is the second season, which is a little bit more kid friendly than I wanted. I wanted the first season, which seemed a bit more adult, not in a bad way, just less 12-year-old. But this is the one I got. So this one has got Sherlock Holmes, The Challenge of Irene Adler, Pirates, The Great Chase. The artwork feels very 12. Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty, Pirates, and The City of Skulls, and Mystery. But this is true. This is exactly true. These are graphic novels. But they are also choose-your-own-adventure stories. So they're both a graphic novel and a choose-your-own-adventure story, and I thought that was super cool, so I wanted to check it out, so that's pretty exciting. I've not been able to play it yet, because you know how my life is, but this summer. Mir geht's sehr gut, says Lone Kuh. Ich habe gerade Rasen gemäht. Ah, hier ist es warm und meine Frau macht gerade Pizza. Alles ist fine. Oh, okay, so who does not want some pizza being made? You've got some, yeah, that's so nice. Like adapting to D&D to everything. I find that PBTA does it more than D&D does, actually. A few years ago was porting everything to Savage Worlds. Yeah. VO says, so I had an idea for a D&D mechanic to integrate into a campaign. Each time you die and are brought back with Revivify, etc., it takes one less fail on your death saving throw to die, meaning you could just get to the point where 0 HP means instant death, with a mechanic representing damage to your soul that can be fixed, healed through certain means. Vo? Danger Hugs! I've not played them yet, but I'm excited about it. I will say this. People like to talk smack about the earlier editions and say the newer editions are better. And there are many things that are much better about the newer editions of D&D than the older editions of D&D, editing being one of them. I mean, I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? But there are some things, and how do I put this? People like to say that RPGs back in the day were unfair and mean and bad and too hostile, etc., etc., etc. But I actually think that what people have missed, sometimes that's true, but sometimes some of the things that seemed mean were checks and balances. So back in the first edition, very often you would lose levels, right? Like there was a cost for Revivify, Resurrection, etc., that wasn't just some diamonds. So basically, and I just don't think we do this anymore, but there were things that would cost XP or cost levels, like Wish was not free, right? And I think that the having to pay XP costs or levels, have level damage, that kind of a thing. There were these kind of more serious long-term damaging things, and I actually think that was a good balancing, a good balancer to the super high-powered stuff, especially things like giving lives back again. And I think that alignment, yeah, I mean, and I think that those things, I don't think they were necessarily bad, right? If you had a jerk GM, sure, but I don't think they were necessarily bad. In the same way, everybody makes fun of Traveler for like, Traveler, the game where you can die in character creation, which is true, you can die in character creation depending on what's happening. But it was, I think, a very important check and balance that isn't there anymore, in the sense that you gain more power. You gain more power every single term of service you take. Right? You start at 18, and every term of service is 4 years. And every term of service, you roll to see if you get stuff. And the longer you stay in character creation, the more stuff you get, the more powerful you get. And before I ran the Gamblers, I had Lindy come and make a character with me, who you've not met, Minister Maddox, who is 50 years old. Like, Minister Maddox stayed in character creation until she retired. And so she's like insanely powerful and rich and has got all this stuff because she stayed in 32 years, which is like 8 terms, right? 8 terms she took. The characters of the Gamblers that we have, they all took basically 3 terms, more or less. Right, our PCs. Yeah, 8 terms. And there was a moment that something really bad happened to that character and the character got out of it. But in modern Traveler, where death is off the table, Mongoose Traveler, where death is off the table, there's no reason why characters shouldn't just stay in as long as possible, because nothing bad. I mean, they'll get aging rolls, they'll get aging checks, that will happen. But there's no incentive. You might get medical debt, which you can probably pay off. You might, you can't die though. And in the past, in the first edition of Traveler, death was the check and balance, right? So that every single time you stay in, you risk dying, right? So there's gonna be a moment where you've done 3 or 4 terms, you like where your character is at, and you're like, oh, but if I roll again, I might die, so I'm out, right? There's like a bit of a gambling mechanic that is itself the check and balance, which is gone in Modern Traveler because it's considered, because, you know, how people are. I did a check and balance. I added a check and balance myself that is not in the rules, and that is, so I added the luck mechanic, which is an option from Traveler Companion. And I said, every single term you take after your first term, you're going to lose 1 luck, right? So the more terms you take, the less luck you're going to have. And so the players then had to think, how low do I want my luck to be, right? And so that also gave them a bit of an incentive to stop. But taking out, I think what has happened is that because people assume that we're being mean, they've taken out a lot of the checks and balances that were actually game balance situations. And I think that's not the best, you know, because like dying in character creation wasn't just there to be mean. It wasn't there because hi. I'm just checking to see if that lizard is there. It doesn't look like the lizard's there, so oh man. Why is this my life? Do you know what I mean? Oh no! Y'all, I just want you to know that I have a feeling that this run is gonna be death. Also, I think I'm too far. I think I'm too low. I don't think I can get out of this. I'm going to read chat while I try to get some momentum going, because maybe I can... I'm going to more death myself. Yeah. Landscape gym screens. Hawkeye says, landscapes are fun to make. I've thought about this. Max says, I also put a pick in Tabletop Musings of a wooden D20 that has a staff with notes for each number. The musical notes need to be deciphered to determine what you rolled. Looks cool, but I can't find any for sale online. Oh, that would be neat. Yeah. There's also a change in the sensibility of the audience for the games over the years. Absolutely. And you can just tell from D&D. D&D has gotten so high-powered compared to what it was before. That's one of the coolest things about Old School Traveler. She's good at everything 8 terms. Some players just want to be overpowered Skyrim murder hobos. They do. Do you still get your skills randomly in Traveler? Ish, right? Even back then, it wasn't exactly random. You got to choose the category and then you would roll. So it's sort of it's semi-random. I ran a playtest of the original Travel and rolled with a couple NPCs. My first scout died during character creation. It happens. Scouts, that's the thing. Even back in the old school days of Traveler, some jobs you were more likely to die in some jobs than others. If you decide to be a scout, where you can get all sorts of good combat skills, you also have a good chance of dying. If you, however, decide not to be a scout, but to be like an entertainer, you are much less likely to die, right? So, like, some of these things are, everybody, we're in trouble. Some of these things make sense. Like, you know, hey, certainly you can go and take on the most dangerous jobs, but then you're more likely to die in character creation than if you took a safer job. I actually think it makes a lot of sense. I'm not mad about it, basically. There's a lizard right where I need to be. I don't know why this lizard's right there in my face. Right there. Okay, hold on. I'm going to finish this thought once I do this. Go. Okay. Okay, everybody. Life is good. We are currently not dead. And I think maybe our life will go better this time. Maybe not. I can't say. Whoop. Ouch. There are some... I don't want to do it. There's food down there, but I hate my life when it comes to certain kinds of things like wall jumping, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just get in this tunnel, and then I'm going to check chat because we have things to talk about, which I'm very excited about right now. Landscape. See, there was we had a discussion about landscape GM screens, but I feel like there was other stuff we had to talk about, and it's all in chat. Okay. Look, at the moment, we are doing much better than we have in a very... Oh, no. Give me a second. Okay. And pressing your luck. How dare you not give the players everything they want? Speak of the lizard. So, you meaning not letting your players make uber Mary Sue hero characters? You know. Landscape. I caught the finale of regular show earlier this week. Has anyone seen it? Like, every single person they befriended showed up at the end to help them out, and it felt epic. Oh, that's very nice. That's cool. I've not seen that before. So, GM screens. People nowadays, not all people, hashtag, often think that back in the day gaming was like awful and terrible and everyone was so mean. And sometimes they were. I have played with people back in the day that were awful. I've also played with people today who are awful. But they're like, oh, I'm so glad we don't have antagonistic gaming anymore like they did in the day. And I was like, I think sometimes people were antagonistic and that was bad, but that can always be the case. But I think actually that's a fundamental misunderstanding of that style, which you don't have to like. But it wasn't antagonistic like people are saying. And I think there's a lot of misinterpretation of what it was about challenge. Do you know what I mean? Like it was a little bit different. So anyhow, I remember somebody saying, oh, I'm so glad we don't use GM screens anymore because GM screens are just about hostility and antagonism. And they just show that the GM doesn't trust the players. I don't like them because they're like back from the old school days of evilness. And I was like, no, I always used a GM screen back in the day. Why? Was it because I like to be evil and antagonistic to my players? No, it's because I needed tables. A lot of old school games had tables, and it was really great. I made my own GURPS GM screen, which I have it. Do you want to see it? I made this in middle school or high school. Let me show you. Hold on. I haven't made one yet for 4th edition. The reason why I didn't know if I had it was not because I would have thrown it out, because I wouldn't, because you know how I am, but because I have not unpacked all of my RPG stuff yet. But I made this GM screen back in the day, probably high school, actually. I probably made this in high school, which, as you all know, was about 3 or 4 years ago. You know, yeah. What's wrong with being uber Mary Sue heroes? Lots of people enjoy being uber Mary Sue heroes, especially when their real lives are really hard. No, I mean, you could do that back in the day too. Like you could, I mean, I personally don't enjoy it, right? I especially don't enjoy it when what those heroes do are kill people who can't defend themselves against them, right? Like I personally don't enjoy playing a person who so outclasses the opposition that I just slaughter them, and it makes me feel like a bully, and I don't like it. Personally, it's not. But there's nothing wrong with playing a game where you outclass all the opposition and you just stomp on them. If that's what you want, there's nothing wrong with it. In the same way, there's nothing wrong with playing an insanely overpowered hero. There's also nothing wrong with playing in a game where you're not. Do you know what I mean? And I think the problem for me isn't that people want to play Mary Sue heroes. Go ahead. I'm probably not going to GM you, but that's fine. It's that they then say anybody who does something different is bad. That's my problem. I feel like you want to do it, you do it. Like everybody play what they want to play. That is fine with me. It's just that we are now in a space where people are pretty mean. So anyway, this was the GM screen that I made. And I did not make this GM screen because I wanted to be hostile to the players. I made it because I wanted the chart. So so this is on the PC side. Right, so on the PC side, you're going to be able to see the hit table, the hit location table. This is 3rd edition GURPS, expanded, right? So you've got the head, the eyes, the brain, the jaw. On the back side of this, you've got all of the effects for each body part, right? So if you hit the brain, it's a -7 modifier. Missed by 1 hits the torso. The damage multipliers. Bullets get ×4 damage. Crushing gets ×4. Cutting, actually everything gets ×4 damage if you hit the brain. No blow through. Special effects. Skull provides damage resistance 2. Critical hits use the critical head blow table. Any blow that does exactly 0 or more damage requires a health roll to avoid knockout. Victims are stunned on hits over 1/3 of your health. Victim is knocked out automatically at hits over 1/2 of your health. So that's like on this side. And then the other 2 flaps for the player side was the critical hits table, critical misses table, right? All of your critical tables, of which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the last flap for the players is the reaction table, so they can see what their reactions are. And then on the inside, I'm so excited to show you this because I was very proud of this. I will show this to you last. I had all the tables that I thought were important for me when running GURPS live, right? So I have my first aid table, my damage from thrown objects, and then I actually made my own little charts, so you can see little high school hand notes, right? So that's my close combat rules, bullet damage modifiers. I have some notes on bullets, corrosion damage, fragmentation damage, effects of crippling injuries. I'm not letting you see the big cool thing that I did, which I love. I'm very proud of, and I still love it to this day. And then I have my notes here about, parts of the body, the table of positions, like if you're prone or kneeling. What in the heck was that? I made a special thing. Special parry rules, ranged weapons attack with a ranged weapon modifier, adverse combat penalties like lighting, etc., etc. Rounds in... I don't know what that is. The tape, it's all taped. But here's what I did on the inside. I'm so excited. This is a thing that I loved. It makes me so happy. So proud of myself for this. Why? This made running GURPS 3rd edition super easy back in the day. And I made this, this was definitely high school. And I need to make a new version of this, but this was my my pièce de résistance. So first, it's my, it's my combat flowchart. Right, so you attack, and then attack modifiers, and then see the various charts. And this is exactly what happens in the attack, and then this is what happens in the defense. And then on the other end was the entire flowchart for damage, right there. All of your damage flowcharts. So yeah, that's the. So, did I make this because I'm antagonistic and hostile and not wanting to be open and wanting to be terrible to the players? No, I made it so I had my charts and then the players had charts. It's great. And what's really nice, I think, about the landscape GM screens is that they look less, like if somebody's prone to thinking that GM screens are antagonistic, I feel like landscape GM screens are less antagonistic looking, but you still get to have all of the charts that you need for your game. That's my thought. GM screens are great ways to set the tone or reflect the GM's personality. Yeah, it's a Trooper. I'm the one GMing that. Yeah, no. And the thing is, I don't tend to like to play in them either. If there's going to be a Mary Sue Hero game. I'm probably going to want to play that for like a short shot, not like a full one shot. But I don't mind playing in it for like it depends on the game. Actually, I'm very unlikely to play a Mary Sue Hero game where the PCs are murdering people who they outclass. But like if it's like superheroes, that's okay. Although I do prefer street level heroes to cosmic heroes, just personally. But if everybody's like world bending, but they're like massively huge, but their opposition's also massively huge, I don't feel so bad about that so much. But the thing is, I'll do anything for like a short shot. Like I don't mind. I need to start using my GM screen for online too. I'm always looking through my books, and some of that info is easier on the screen. Yeah. I need to do some work on my D&D campaign for time. Oh, you should. Yeah. I also like putting era-appropriate pics on the front of my keeper screen. Yes! Like an American flag from 1877 or a Russian flag when they were part of the 588th. Yes. How dare you want to keep yourself, the GM, separate from the players? Actually, precisely you. Like Max was saying, I've also liked to use the GM screen as like the canvas for like images. Like I'll clip like image. Like nowadays on a modern VTT, I can just put the image up on the VTT screen so them all could see it. But back in the day, I'd like clip it so they could see the cool images. I have always found GM screens to be exceedingly useful. This is less useful. Okay, everybody. I think we are good right now. I mean, for certain definitions of good, those definitions involving things trying to kill us. They would hate me too. I'm a standing GM. I've got to the point where a chair when I'm running feels like a prison. Oh, so interesting. That's interesting. I'm not mad. Ooh, excuse me. We got a problem. No! We were doing so well. So well. I think we're technically... Are we dead yet? Are we full on dead? Oh, hold on. Oh, we're dead now. We're dead now. Okay, gonna walk the dogs. Go walk the dogs. Go walk the dogs. Or get a game screen with a built-in screen. Yes. Yes. Shameless plug. I.e., because it has a plug that you can shamelessly plug into things. Yeah, so like, basically, I kind of just feel like sometimes people have missed some of what was exciting about the old school. And please note, it's not like I love the old school so much. There were things about it that I just did not enjoy. But I think that if you're going to critique it, you should at least critique it fairly, if that makes any sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, let me see if I can get this. There we go. You know, critique it for what it actually did rather than what it didn't do. Oops. Bats. Haha. Gonna just try to eat some. You know what would be really good if I could? What would be really good would be if I could just get full food and then rest so that when we die, which we definitely will die, I will be able to come back with full food. I mean, that would be really good. But also... Hello, bats. I just would like to eat you. You know, I just am hungry, and these bats are just taunting me with their tauntingness in a way that I feel is just super rude. Is there... There is a KY Etsy command. I believe it's... I think it's Hawkeye. I think that's the command. Let me see. Because I was like, oh, we have to have a command for Hawkeye because Hawkeye's so cool. I should also perhaps add that Did I? By the way, did you notice that they're just avoiding me? There we go. Hawkeye! Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yay. I would just like to point out for the record that wherever I go, these bats just go to the other way, and I think that they're taunting me, and that it's rude. Speaking of games, I can't wait for next Thursday in order to play some more Disco Elysium. I missed having it this last time because... Oh no! Oh! Ah! Ah! Hi. How you doing? Yeah, the bats do look they're a little bit harder to catch. Also, my life is very complicated right now in that... Oh, hello. You gonna save me? Apparently, no? I think I'm dead, actually, but, I mean, it would be nice if somebody... I'm seeing little X's on my eyes, which means I think I'm dead, but, might as well see, just in case, you know? But I really feel like I'm dead. But while I'm being needlessly tortured by these creatures... Let me see what people are saying in the chat. Need to add it to shameless plug. I know, it's just showing off. It's just there doing donuts. I know, it's so unnecessary, right? It's just like, hey, guess what? I really do think I'm dead though, actually. And I say this because Wait. Wait. There's a battle over my soul. This blue lizard is very, very resilient. And I do find that... So this is where I'm headed, but I do think I'm dead. Although, if it drops me, maybe I'll wake back up again, but maybe I won't. Also, where are you going? Where are you going? What is wrong with you? While I'm being carried away, this is Phoenix Dawn Command, the game I told you about, by Keith Baker. Uh-oh. And in this one, every time you die, you level up. It's got like a very card-based mechanic. Okay, look, I'm here. I'm not waking. I'm dead. I'm dead, everybody. I'm not waking up. Are you gonna wake up, little? No? No. Mm-mm. No, I'm dead. I'm dead. Super dead. It's fine. It's fine. Not bothered. So speaking about overpowered and all that business, I don't tend to like overpowered. I don't mind high-powered, but I tend to want it to feel realistic, if that makes any sense. So this is going to be a weird thing to say. The lizard's there, by the way. This is going to be a weird way to talk about the distinction between what I'm talking about. So, because I basically am... It's like a funny line that I like to... that I want to walk, right, in what I'm feeling. So, there are people... All right, I've never really enjoyed first-level D&D because it doesn't feel realistic to me, in the sense that it doesn't make sense to me, mechanically, that a first-level magic user can fairly easily be killed by their familiar. That does not feel realistic. Where's that lizard, by the way? Oh, I see where it is. That is like a level of weakness that really suspends my level of disbelief. I was like, but if you're so weak that a house cat can kill you, that's too weak. Because I don't feel like that doesn't make sense to me. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. Especially since they don't describe first-level characters as being, like, babies. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like a level of weakness that doesn't make sense to me at all. I don't like it. Similarly, there's this thing, the cult of stat normalization, and I disagree with it vehemently. It's a GURPS thing, and it's not the rules itself, it's various fans of GURPS, and there's sort of like, it's a philosophical camp, and I don't like it. So back in somewhere, somebody said that like your average human being is 25 to 50 points. And so there are these people who insist that if you make a character over 50 points, you are being unrealistic. And that if you're going to be making realistic characters, they have to be 50 points. 25 to 50. And the thing is, oops, excuse me. Here we go. We've got a problem here. Excuse me. We have got a lizard problem. We're going to just have to try to avoid it. Excuse me. Things were going great for a while, but we'll see where we're at. Fans of GURPS, yeah. And so they're like, yeah, you can't, like, any character that's over 50 points is unrealistic, and you're just being, and they'll be like, you're this Mary Sue, blah, 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 and how dare you, and you can't, and I was like, your view of humanity is quite dim. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but, like, Dolph Lundgren does exist in real life. He is a real person, and Dolph Lundgren has, like, a master's PhD in, like, astrophysics or whatever it is, like, some, like, high-level STEM graduate degree, also is a martial artist, also has fame and wealth. Like, to build Dolph Lundgren in GURPS, you cannot do that in 50 points. You can't. Because Dolph Lundgren is built off of a lot more points than 50 points. And he does exist in real life, right? And actually, there are a lot of people who exist in real life, and they're not unrealistic people. Excuse me. You know what I mean? Like, they do exist. So I feel like their idea of what a person is, like a real person, is just a little bit too dim. Do you know what I mean? Like, I actually don't. Oh gosh, go, run, get up and run, go. Oh my gosh. Excuse me for a moment. I was trying to avoid being murdered by lizards. You'll just have to forgive my trying to avoid being murderedness that happened right there, because I was trying to avoid being murdered. Was not appreciative of the possibility of being murdered. I was able to avoid it, so we're fine. Just ignore that for the moment. It's okay. Hey, do you think I'm going to be able to not die this time? That would be pretty cool, right? I mean, that's not helping. Chances are not that good that I will be able to avoid dying, but I might. I mean, it is possible. Yeah, so sometimes there are people whose idea of realistic is just, like, in my opinion, unrealistically underpowered and miserable. And I don't like that. I remember having a debate with somebody about World War II games, and again, I wasn't a fan of their take. Their take was, well, if you wanted to do a realistic World War II game, all the player characters would die in the first session. Nope. Pardon me. Excuse me for a moment. That was not what I wanted. Sometimes my little slug cat rolls when I don't want it to. By the way, I'm seeing this shadow of a vulture, and that is also a little bit disturbing to me. Just so you know, I don't like it. Yeah, somebody's like, yeah, if you're going to do a realistic World War II game, all the PCs die in the very first session on the beaches of Normandy, because the vast majority of people died in Normandy, so your character should also die. And I was like, no. Oops, excuse me. Oh! Ah! Not what I want. Excuse me for a moment. That was some non-excitement right there. That wasn't good. That was actually actively bad. But I didn't die, so... That was a lizard that just fell off, just so you know, in case you didn't see. So on the plus side, it's not just me who falls off of... Okay, now we're in trouble. Oh, hey. Hey, look at that. My little worm friend has captured the... I might have to give up my worm... Oh, no, there's two of them. Oh, gosh. Oh, no, where'd my worm friend go? My worm friend kept me safe for a moment, and now my worm friend's dead. And now I'm very sad. Because my worm friend saved me. Everybody. We're gonna have to, like, I lost my worm friend, and I really wish I hadn't. Oh, bad choice, everybody. That's okay. That's okay. Here we go. There's another one. This is not great. I'm going to read comments. Past suggest you will probably die. Hawkeye says, if you want super realistic, why play a game? Just walk in certain areas late at night. No dice needed. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Hawkeye. Part of also what's realistic is you can just walk down the street and nothing bad happens to you. That's the thing. I think that people somehow imagine realism just means misery. But, like, I've not been murdered yet. I'm also a real person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I grew up in Oakland, in not a great neighborhood. I grew up, like, there were serial killers. Like, I mean, I just didn't die, you know? And people do die, but not everybody dies all the time. Not everybody has a miserable life. Some people do. Some people have a miserable life, but nothing physically bad happens to them. I mean, just saying that, like, the idea that isn't the point of fantasy games to escape at least partially the reality? Some people want to escape into a worse reality, right? And there's also nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to escape into a worse reality than the one we live in, because that can itself be something important to people. But I just wouldn't describe the worst reality as what is real. That's all. It's just about, like, rhetoric. Carl says, the vast majority of combatants in World War II were not involved in the invasion of Normandy. That is also true. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what it is. They're like, well, I was like, I don't know. Yeah. I also was in a game once with somebody who, I was in a cyberpunk game, GURP cyberpunk game with somebody, play by post, and it did not, the campaign did not finish. That game did not finish because we couldn't actually get into the first mission because, dang it, the GM's idea of realism was such that we couldn't actually do the first mission, which I'm not quite certain what the point of that was. Also, if you want to talk about the place people really died in World War II, the Russian front, yes. Or be a civilian in, like, in the Russian front in one of the places that were under siege. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying there are ways to do this. Now, what I need to do is hit this. There we go. I hit it. Yeah, so in this campaign, we were cyberpunk people. We were edge runners. We were our runners, all that goodness. And our mission was to, hey, by the way, in case you want to know, we're going to die to the rain really soon, just so you know it. Eat. Oh, I'm good, actually. Okay. So we were told that we were hired by this mercenary to go to airdrop onto an island. And when we airdropped onto that island, we would then, we have to infiltrate this place and, we had to infiltrate this place and get the data. You know, good old regular cyberpunk stuff. And he was good. The boss had a. Oh, we're in trouble now. The boss had a private plane on this private airfield that we were going to go and take to get to the place. And I was like, cool. And the problem is when we got to the airport, we haven't started the mission yet. The GM was like, okay, how do you get through security? And I was like, this is a private airport, and we're going to the private landing strip on the private airport. We shouldn't have to do that. And they're like, but you have to get through security, and you can't take your guns or else you're going to get, like, found out. So what do you do? And I was like, So we tried various things, and nothing we tried would actually work. And I was like, okay, we'll pretend to be employees. And so basically, there was no way we could actually get to the airport, get through security with the weapons we needed in order to, and we couldn't check them in. And I was like, and we tried everything, and we couldn't get to the private landing field in the private airport in order to start the mission. So the mission didn't start because apparently that was realistic. And I was like, that is not realistic. It's not how this works, but okay, fine. So we didn't start our first mission because of this person's idea of realism, and then the game ended, is what happened. So by the way, we're going to, oh, what was that? Hey, the rain stopped. Why did the rain stop? Oh, the rain's starting again. Okay, now the rain is really starting. Yeah, okay, so we're dead. Just so you know. Just death. Right there. This is the run, everybody. This one here, this is it. Yeah, and I was just like, why? Also, I don't buy it. Like that, I just didn't believe that. Right in the end, I was like, no, I don't believe that. Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like a memory, falling on my head like a new emotion. Yeah, so there are some people out there who think that realism is a level of punishment that is just, in my mind, not realistic, and I find that just as irritating. You know what I mean? And the thing is, if what you really want is to play in a fantasy where everything is the absolute worst, that's fine. I'm not mad at that, but just don't say that what you're doing is being realistic, and if anybody doesn't do it that way, then they're not being realistic. I don't like that. And that's all. That's all I'm saying. I just kind of want... Where's our lizard? Where's our lizard? Oh, there it is. I see it. I see the lizard. It's just waiting exactly where I need to be, so we can't go that way right now. That's all. Like, yeah. That's it. It's like somebody was like, well, if you're going to be realistic, everybody dies of the plague all the time. I was like, no, everybody... If everybody died, we would not have we would not have gotten out of the Middle Ages. Like, if everybody died from the plague, we would not have gotten out of the Middle Ages. And this story is about the story of the people who did not die from the plague. I don't know what else to tell you. Because not everybody died from the plague. That's not realistic. That's all. That's it. That's all. And then, by the way, and then be like, yeah, well, if you don't die from the plague, you're just being like a Mary Sue. It's like, no, stop that. You're not... Sorry. It's a continuous frustration of mine that people do that. And, like, do your own thing. But, unfortunately, they get up in my face. And I'm like, look, there's just, like, let people play the game. And don't... Ugh. That's all. Not even most... Yeah, 1/3 is not most. It's a lot. Absolutely. But also, I just feel like, what do you want to do here? Right? Like, what is your goal? Do you want to play a game where all the PCs die in the first session and the game's over? Is that what you want to do? Because I'm not quite certain how that's like actually not even a campaign. And here's the thing. If somebody said, we're going to play a one-shot where you all die of the plague, that actually might be interesting. I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay, like, oh, we're going to play a one-shot? Sure, all right. Let's roll up a random character, and we'll all die of the plague. We'll have like a one-shot where we're all playing people who died of the plague. That could be a fun one-shot. But if what you're selling is a campaign, and then and we all make characters with the assumption that we're going to play in a long-term campaign, and then we all die of the plague, that feels like a bait and switch to me. You know what I mean? It's not I'm not into it. I'm not into it. It's just my feelings. Yeah. So, okay. And it's also interesting because there was this discussion about this in GURPS, and this is 3rd edition, where the power levels were lower, the point costs were lower, because point costs in 4th edition GURPS are higher than in 3rd edition because of some balancing things they did. By the way, there's a lizard right there that's in my face. If we all die episode 1 of a campaign, why bother putting into... Right. Okay, so here's the thing, Hawkeye. If we're all going to die in the first session of the campaign, I don't want to do that in GURPS, because GURPS takes a long time to make a character, because everything is like point by. Everything is deliberate, right? Like, you are deliberately choosing to make the character, and it takes a while to make the character. So if we're going to play a game where we all die in the first session, I don't want to do that in GURPS. I'll do it in a game where it's all random character generation. Like, we can do an old school D&D where we just, like, roll up our character and then we die. That's fine. Or we don't. Like, sure, let's do that then. But, like, do not make me spend a whole bunch of time conceiving a character and thinking about the character and crafting a character, and then have that character die of dysentery in the very first session. If we're going to do a high lethality campaign, we need to have a rule system wherein it takes you 5 minutes to make a character and you just can burn through them. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That we can do that. Oh, hey, excuse me. We can do it, but you have to have a rule set that complements that. Do you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I do really think that I think system does matter. And I think that you want to make a system, you want to use a system that complements the kind of game style that you're going for. And high lethality games, it should not take you very long to make your character. Like, if it's a game where everybody dies all the time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like, really easy. And also probably characters probably should not have a lot of personality. Do you know what I'm saying? We're discussing the fetishization of like miserable games is one of them. Is one of the things we're discussing, but also actually the idea of if you're going to have a high lethality game, you should probably have a system that supports a high lethality game, i.e., it's just really fast and easy to make a character. And oh, we're good actually. Okay, so can I get up here? Oh, I can. This is great. Okay. I feel like I need to jump. Go ahead and jump. Go ahead and jump. Jump. Can't you see me standing there? I got my back against the record machine. I ain't the worst that you're seeing. Oh, baby, see what I mean? Ooh. Okay. Watch out. The thing's there. We gotta think about this. Might as well jump. David Lee Roth, everybody. Go ahead and jump. Oh, all right. Well, gotta deal with this. I do like the music of death. Fetishization of miserable games. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, and I just feel like, I understand that certain games are very miserable, but they're kind of miserable on purpose. Do you know what I mean? Like that's like their aesthetic. Excuse me. Go, go down. Oh my goodness, that was fast. Okay, I made it. I made that by the way, everybody. I made it through. I don't know exactly how I did, but I did. And now I died. Okay, so that was what happened. I just died. I tried to just, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. We were doing really well. Then we died. Yeah, because basically it was this kind of like, me, okay, look. I am very much a simulationist. That is very, very true. That is my preferred default. Simulationism is just kind of like my joy. But simulationism is also not misery. If I'm playing a superhero game, a high-powered superhero game, I want to simulate that genre, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, because everybody always makes the mistake of thinking that simulationism equals realism, but that's not true. Simulationism is about exploring something. And if you're exploring genre and that genre is high-powered genre, then you want that experience, right? I'm not going to feel very good if I'm simulating a four-color golden age superhero vibe and everything I'm getting is not that, right? So it's like, oh wait, that's not what that's not right. And if you're, oh no. Do you know what I'm saying? So generally speaking, I get frustrated when a game is miserable in a way that I feel is unrealistic for what the genre is that we're doing, or the thing is that we're doing, or overpowered in a way that doesn't feel realistic to me either, basically. That's all I really want. That's it. I just want the description and the I want it to match. Oh no, lizard. The lizard's there, everybody. In my face. Oh, hi. What? So they're gonna have a fight. Maybe in this fight, one of them will win. Did you kill the lizard? Well, how come you can kill lizards? Also, there's another lizard coming. Will you kill that one too? Ho! Wow. So they're really good at what they do, as it turns out. I am less so. Like, hey, there's another lizard. There's another lizard. What the heck, everybody? I'm going to read chat while that does its thing. Yeah, this, what the what? What the what? Yeah, it's just a, yeah. I was once told a former stripper who was given superpowers because her boyfriend used her as a guinea pig. Excuse me? We're in trouble. We're gonna see what we can do about this. Okay, something's happening over there. They're fighting. Excuse me? We're gonna just go over here, grab, oh, that's the wrong one. Grab that. Excuse me. They have realized I'm here. That is not what I wanted. That's all right. We're just gonna keep moving. Eat, go, eat, 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 eat. Okay, grab, bats, go, 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 go. Excuse me, excuse me. We are hopefully going to get out of this. Okay, great. Everybody, we might make it out of this, but I don't know if that's true. So we're gonna just try not to die. I need to finish the comment about the Golden Age stripper. And I had a thought. I haven't finished this, but I have a thought about your GM. And it's a question that I have in my mind, but I cannot ask it yet. I just need to get to a place where I feel less likely to die. And once that happens, I will ask this question. We need to be over there, don't we? Is that right? Man. This is bad. Okay, great. Let me pause. Because her boyfriend used her as a guinea pig wasn't Golden Age, and I feel like these people don't know the difference between Golden and Silver Ages. Oh, yeah. Okay, so what's interesting, Carlin says, you think they don't know the difference between the Golden Age and Silver Age. I think that's also accurate, but I think there's another thing happening as well that I think is interesting to ponder, and that is, I think... So the Golden Age of comic books is the 30s to the 50s, which does include, of course, early Superman, but the 30s was before the comic books code, so you also had like the Shadow and some of the darker, like early Batman who killed people, right? You know, like the Spirit. There was some stuff in there that was like the Golden Age was not the Silver Age is this comics code era onwards. Right. But I think the other thing about them not understanding the difference between the Golden Age and the Silver Age is also that many people don't realize that there were strippers in the past, that they did exist, actually. And, you know, of course, what a stripper in the 30s and 40s would look like would be different from a stripper now, because it was a different time period. You're going to be a bit more sort of classic burlesque, you know, the champagne glass that you sit in and fans and all that. But, yeah. Oops, let me go fix that, Automod. Also, early Wonder Woman, which was borderline bondage porn. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So, like, I kind of just think that maybe people don't understand, you know, yeah. So, if you don't mind, I've got to Gen X this right now. I've got to do a Gen X thing, if you don't mind. This is related. Somebody on Twitter said a thing, you know how it is, and I didn't like it. I didn't say anything because other people jumped in for me, but it was Gen X, take a drink of bourbon, but it was like, it was a picture of the Challenger, and they're like, you Gen X think that like, that the reason why you guys aren't fazed by stuff because you had it so hard, but you didn't have it hard at all. The Challenger explosion was nothing. That was just one thing. Just because you saw the Challenger explosion in school doesn't mean that, hold on. Maybe I can find it exactly. I probably can't because my timeline goes by so quickly. But it was basically like, you don't know, like that was like a one-off that wasn't going to happen to you. You don't know what it's like. Like we millennials had Columbine and 9/11 and this sort of like big threat that could happen all the time. And I was like, my first thought was like, 9/11. Thankfully, other people mentioned we had the existential threat of global thermonuclear war all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like all the time, with nothing you could do about it. There was nothing you could like this idea that. So anyway, this person does not actually understand history. Wanted to say that we basically didn't live with any kind of like real threats, unlike how miserable it is for the millennials and the Gen Z. And it's like, also we're still alive, so we have also lived through. Like I also did live through 9/11, but. Right, they never heard of the Cold War, is what I'm trying to say. Do you know what I'm saying? The Cold War. But also not just the Cold War, like in my time, and also like younger, like people who are older than me also lived through the times that I lived through, right? The day after, threads, right? Nuclear war, but also we grew up in the golden age of serial killers. We don't really have serial killers now. We have shooters, mass shooters, but I mean, I had a number of serial killers that ran through San Francisco. Like that was just a thing. I was like, oh man, the Zodiac. Oh no, the Night Stalker. Like right. We also had like, remember the Tylenol poisonings, or that person was poisoning Tylenol, was it? Aspirin. We had, and the thing is, or that supposed real TV where terrorists set up a nuke in Wilmington. Yeah. Also, I will just say that, and I know this is like, I'm going to say this, and I understand that people are going to freak out, or some people won't. When 9/11 happened, I have another thing to say, which my Europeans might appreciate. I remember thinking like, okay, like it did not devastate me the way that it devastated some younger people, because also the Oklahoma City bombing happened. But if you lived in Europe, the Troubles, people were being bombed in London all the time. If you lived in Europe, I mean, like they were just because the United States can be provincial doesn't mean that other people didn't live through regular and persistent threats of terrorist attacks all the time, because they did. Like they did. The Middle East, all sorts of places. And we also had them here too. So this idea that somehow Gen X never dealt with any kind of like actual traumatic events, I was just like, I don't know what, you just don't know your history. And maybe you should. I'm not saying that millennials and Gen Z don't have to deal with stuff. They do. Sure they do. I know, because I'm also alive. But I was like, you just don't know your history. Also, the AIDS crisis. The AIDS crisis, where people were also I did grow up in San Francisco, so people were just dying all the time. Yeah, I'm just saying, and also, yeah. So I'm just saying, learn your history. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Also, this bird is here. Also, what are you saying in chat? Yeah, the Tylenol poisonings that forever changed my profession. Yeah. That was false, I think. The woman claimed she bought poison Tylenol and her husband died, but she'd actually... No, it happened because there were copycats. There was a number of them that actually sort of happened. I remember my initial reaction to hearing about another was like, wow, who would piss off that? Same, actually. Actually, part of me was like, I was like, oh, wow. Was it that? Because the people who do not remember, the World Trade Center had been bombed a couple years earlier as well. It wasn't as explosive, but I mean, it happened before. Special Bulletin was the name of the real TV special, yeah. Oh, Go to the Mail, yeah. Too many people these days suffer from presentism. Yes, presentism, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, there are a bunch of copycats that happened. It was like a thing. And I remember also, this is another thing for people who are in my era. We grew up in, or it happened, right? The modern era of kidnapping happened during our childhood. It was, I think Kevin Collins was the first one. There might have been one before then, but basically before us, kidnappings had generally been seen to be for ransom or for a reason. So if somebody got kidnapped, they would often be brought back, or we'd never find out about it. But we started this sort of we had the era of people are just going to kidnap you to torture you and kill you, right? Not for ransom, whatever. And that became that was also part of right, my child. I remember walking down the street and being like, oh, that's where Kevin Collins got kidnapped, right on that bus that I'm taking, right? And I think I'm not saying we have it worse, because I wouldn't want to grow up in the Depression. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of times I think are bad, and like, they're challenges at all times. I just think it's not that. I just don't think that people who grow up now have it special worse. Do you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Thank you, 25. We were shown that in high school the years after it happened, but the teacher presented as if it was live. Time to cue Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire." Yep, and the copycats brought those safety. Let's see if we can get out of here. It would be great. Are they gone? I think they might be gone, everybody. I think they might be gone. Would this be it? Is this our life? Are we going to go fight win? Are we going to succeed in our dreams, in our hopes? Are we full up on food? We're not, but that's okay. All right, everybody, I don't want to jinx it. This may be too soon to say, but we may actually get where we need to go. I'm hearing badness. I do not know if I can jump across this gap. It might be too far, but let's try it. Okay, hey, we didn't die. Oh yeah, it means listen to Fall Out Boy's update. Oh, really? Oh, I haven't heard that one. I need to listen to that as well. And maybe I could put that in my rock and roll class. Y'all, idea that I put Billy... would somebody do me a favor, because I'm at the console right now? Will somebody remind me, put it in chat, Media Musings, that I need to think about adding "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Fall Out Boy and Billy Joel to my History of Rock and Roll class? Okay, let's see what we can do here. We just need to... come on. This is always my hard part in my life, right here. It's the wall jumps. Come on. We need to just jump. Jump. Wall. Maybe I'll have to go this way. Wall jump. Oh. No. Okay, we're not there yet. Okay, hold on. Come on. I did this before, so I can do it again. We can do this. We can do it. I know we can. Let me see what chat has to say. I remember watching that in class and watching Reagan's inauguration when they flashed the screens that they rescued Iranian... Oh, I remember that too. So, like, I just don't think that... Also, I don't know why that needed to be said. You know what I mean? Like, just leave us alone. We Gen X, just leave us alone. Fall Out Boy wrote lyrics for a new generation last year. Yeah, I need to see it. I would like to. Come on. I'm having a hard time wall jumping with my little worm friend, and that's a little bit difficult for me. Okay. How do we do this? I don't want to lose my little worm friend, because I think my worm friend will be useful for me later, but I have to figure out how to get up here. Oh no, the vulture's coming back. Hold on. Back down here. Go down. Down. Whew. This is not helping. How much time do we have? Less than half. You gotta... Ooh, what books did you get? Yeah, I do think... Somebody remind me. Put it in the Discord, because I need to check both of those out, so they might need to go into my class. So, I'm afraid that I may not be able to do this with my little worm friend. Oh! But little worm friend, can you Yeah, I've got to get out. Like, I can maybe spend 5 minutes over, but I've got this call time at 4:30, so I have to go. And I've got to get, because I'm, oh, hey, I did it. I'm getting dressed in Victorian wear, right? So I have Edwardian Victorian wear, so I've got things to do. You know what I mean? All right, let's see what we can do here. Okay, that was not helpful. We got up, we've got through. We're running out of time, which is not great. Oh! Ho! Okay. Not what I wanted. Again, not what I wanted. I wonder if I can, probably not. Okay. What call time? Panic button mashing. Yeah, we're gonna get some panic button mashing. Yeah, I'm recording a thing that will run next week for the next 2 Saturdays. So the thing is, maybe if I can be subtle with it, the thing is, if I can figure out how to do this in like a subtle, cool way, then maybe I can do it. You know what I remember? I remember that I need to use these buttons, I think. We're running out of time, everybody. It's bad. No! Dang it! That was bad. That was no good. And we have 2 dots. We're going to hit the rain, and it's going to kill us. And I just want you to know it. That's... And I cannot pull myself off the rope. I can't. That's the problem. I can swing with it, but I can't pull myself up with it. Bad. I really feel like I should just be able to do this. I should just be able to do this. I should be able to wall jump with ease and precision. And we're gonna die now, just so you know. Can you spam? I try to spam the worm. I have tried to get it up there, and the problem is what happens is I do this. Got it. Okay, great. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. It's like I got it. Okay, great. So we're in a bad way, just so you know, because the rain is coming, and we are... This is where we die. This is... I wonder if we can swim to the top. Probably not. This is... Can't pull yourself up the rope? That's why the coach tries so hard to make you do the rope climb in gym class. It's true. Here's the thing about rope climb. It's your legs. You have to use your legs, not your arms. That's the thing. PB! How are you, PB? PB! I need to talk with you. But I have to wait till I get... It's about scheduling. I have to wait till I get some other date set, and then I need to talk to you. It's important. For reasons. Oh. Is the lizard around? Yes. Oh, are they going to get into a fight with the lizard? Why did the lizard not bite you? The lizard's right there. I feel like that's a little unfair, that the lizard did not bite them, but then wanted to bite me. I feel like that was rude. Maybe the lizard's gone. Maybe I'm wrong and the lizard's not there anymore, and I can just go and be free. Oh, hey, PB, I have a question for you. How's the audio interface? Is it working well? Is it, like, doing good things? Are you, like, pleased and full of joy? Just curious. That's all. Go walk across. There we go. I feel like... It is there. It's right there. I knew it was there. I'm good. Oh, unfair is this game's middle name. It is. 15, thank you, 15. So, right now it's all about, like, I'm in the process of working out. By the way, nope, go down. What are your Saturdays and Sundays like, by the way? Just curious, for no reason. Like, you just you know, what are your Saturdays and Sundays like? How are they? Just curious. Because I know I'm gonna get information from a couple of people soon. So, just generally speaking, what are your Saturdays and Sundays like? For no reason. Lizard. Excuse me. More lizards. Oh no. I don't really think this is appropriate in any way. I just would like them to just not, you know? Okay. Maybe we won't have any lizards here and everything will be fine. Okay, look, everything's looking okay at the moment. Like, it could be worse, could be better. What if? Nope. Why? Why? That's what I want to know. I want to know why. Why is this happening? I'm going to read chat. Oh, absolutely. I had developed an issue on my old, now very tiny interface where my mic was very quiet, so immediately my voice was much louder, and I'm so clear and crisp now. Good. Good. I'm so glad. Because they're really good at killing these lizards, those scavs, and I am not. My Saturdays are totally free, and Sundays for the near future are busy, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay. And you're Central, right? Central time frame? Because, kind of just curious to what your afternoons are like. I do need this one. I need a couple people to get back to me, including this one thing that is not clear. Oh, in ways that it really should be clear. That would be really great if they would give me some clarity. And, you know. Oop. Pardon me. I feel like we're going to be okay. Maybe not, but yeah, like your afternoons. You're Central? Okay. Okay, good. Because I'm just kind of wondering, you know, because it's my summer and I really want to I've got these goals of things that I want to do that also involve you. And, just saying. I did want to go up this way, right? Because I could go up the other way, but I think this is the way I want to go. Your afternoons are nice. Oh, good. Okay. I am going to probably want to ask you for, like, 2 or 3 Saturdays or Sundays. And I just have to get a couple of schedules. No. Excuse me. If you don't mind, I was just being attacked in ways that I thought were inappropriate. Get off. Go. Excuse me. You'll have to excuse me. I was having trouble. So I also have this question. And that question is, can I use this worm as a weapon against this vulture? I might have to lose my worm, but I might be able to. I can't say for certain, but I am just noting. Excuse me. Down. Go down. Oh, pardon me. You'll have to excuse me. It's a little bit of a stressful situation right now. Yeah, probably gonna need, like, I would say scheduling 3 weeks in a row. That might, excuse me. Woo! Oh no, I just lost my worm, and therefore perhaps my only protection against this creature. Nope. Leave me alone. I just died. Don't worry about it. I died. Hi. How you doing? I died. This is going to be a speed run before we close our stream. This is our last one, and then we're going to go for the day because I've got to go and get into Victorian clothing for a stream today, and also like just do a little, finalization of stuff. Yeah, two or three Saturdays or Sundays in an afternoon. I just am waiting on word from. I just need to. I am waiting on other people to get back to me so I can know which Saturdays and Sundays are free for me and which are not free for me. That's all I'm waiting on, and then I can ask you. And hey everybody, I think no, bad. Excuse me. Okay, go down. Whew. Pardon me. I'm just trying to avoid that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is what I'm trying to avoid. Oh, I'm excited to tell you, but I just need some people to get back to me. And I also need to make some choices in my life in the future that involve avoiding bi-weekly things, because that is not great for me. So everybody remind me, don't do bi-weekly things if I can avoid it. That's my future note to future self. Unless it's like 4 sessions, even then. Yeah, this is my last run. So there is a spear here. No, gosh. No, come on, no, go, no. Run, woo. Excuse me, go, let go. I stabbed it with a spear, it didn't die, and it's going to kill me. But I didn't die, so that was great. Eat my food, go. Oh, everybody. No! Oh, gosh. I'm gonna eat this drug. And then maybe I can, Wrong one. Go! Go! Woo! Ho! 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 Nope! That didn't happen. Maybe they will fight each other. I think I'm actually dead now. So, I need to... Trapped between two lizards is the worst form of torn between lovers. It is. So basically, generally speaking, I like to play games that are every week for a set amount of time. And every once in a while, somebody's like, can you do this game? It's every other week. And every other week is really rough because every other week takes twice as long as once a week, and it blocks out that entire day. So like if I'm doing something every other week on a Saturday afternoon, that means I can't actually schedule anything but one-shots in that spot. So if I wanted to do something, for example, with you that will take 2 to 3 weeks in a row, I can't do it on Saturday as long as I have an every other week thing. So I find that is just not an efficient use of my time and scheduling. So in the future, please remind me not to take anything that happens every other week, because that will not do. Will not do. So everybody, we died a bunch, is what happened. And the problems, it's not the problems with being popular, it's the problems with, and also the other thing is that game that's every other week is not consistent. It was supposed to be consistent, but like, we've not played it all in May. We didn't play a bunch in April. So the thing that which was supposed to be done months ago is still ongoing. It's still happening because they've had to not do a couple of weeks. So I'm still waiting, still on the hook for that one. And as long as it keeps stretching out, that's more months that I can't do other things that I want to do. So yeah, consistency is very important. Understandable. I avoid bi-weekly and monthly games for similar reasons. Yeah, I have a monthly game one monthly game that I've been playing in for years and years and years offline, and that's on Sundays. That's like the second Sunday of every month, which means that I know that Sundays is just not really a day that I can do anything long term, because this game is an offline game that I've been playing in for like 10 years, I can like skip one Sunday. So I can do something like a 4-shot in the afternoon. But this is also a game that is done by the evening, so I could theoretically do like a Sunday night thing. But yeah, I was just, Max says consistency is important, and I do think that's true. Actually, I was just talking to I'm going to say something. It's a thing that's been on my mind. There are people out there who will say, "Oh, you can't have that requirement because it's ableist, because the people who are neurodiverse need the opposite of that thing." And very often the thing that they say is only applicable to some neurodiverse people, but not other neurodiverse people. And Krillin says, "I'm dropping one of my weekly games, and part of the reason why is because the schedule has been really inconsistent. Some of their other players don't really seem to be respecting the rest of the group's time." Yeah. So I said something about consistency being important in my scheduling, and someone else was like, "Well, that's basically ableist because neurodivergent people cannot have consistent schedules." And I was like, some neurodivergent people cannot work on a consistent schedule. Other neurodivergent people, like me, for example, have a really hard time with inconsistent schedules. If a game is very inconsistent, I will forget that it's happening. Also, I will, yeah, and I can power through it if it's a short shot. I'm a player, but as a GM, I cannot GM a game that has an inconsistent schedule. It is very hard for my brain to be able to keep the game functioning in my head if it's very inconsistent, if we have a lot of dropouts. That is just really bad for my brain. So I'm just saying that there are some people who do not recognize that there are other people who have other needs other than them. That is all that I'm saying. And they are very, very quick to say, "Ha!" But I was like, there are... And the thing is, I was talking about this, and some people just do not want to accept that this is a thing. Somebody's like, Colonel's like, there are lots of neurodivergent people that can't be flexible. In fact, the people that we first started using neurodivergent for aren't going to be good with an inconsistent flexible game, for example. And I was talking about something, I used this phrase that I learned, which was a conflict of accommodations, wherein you have two different people who both need accommodations, but those accommodations cannot coexist. And I've spoken to people who are like, "That's not true. Everybody can be accommodated." And I was, because here's the thing, I want you to know, part of my position is I believe in, and this is where I've gotten to some conflict with folks, I kind of believe in table first, in the sense that you have the table concept and then you invite people who will fit the table concept, rather than you have the people first and then you try to figure out something that will work. And somebody's like, "Well, yeah, but that means you're just going to exclude people who are neurodivergent." And I was like, no, that's not what that means. What that means is that if this game, that basically people who need a fixed schedule and people who need a non-fixed schedule should not be in the same game together. They have a conflict of accommodations. This person needs that in order to be able to be at their best. This person needs the opposite in order to be at their best. And they cannot be in the same game unless it's a one-shot. If it's a one-shot, then sure, that's fine. But sometimes it just so happens that people's needs conflict. And in that case, those people should not be in the same game. That's it. That's all I'm saying, right? You know what I mean? And I don't think, and I actually don't think that's ableism. That's about recognizing that not everybody can be in the same game together at the same time. And that's okay. It's okay for some games not to be for you. As long as there are games for everyone, it's okay for not every game to be for every person. Like everything, it needs to be communicated before the game starts. Absolutely, right? So if I say, "Hey, this is going to be a game where we're going to be very, very inconsistent and flexible in our scheduling because some people need that," I don't think there's anything wrong with a game that is super inconsistent and very flexible, where you play whenever. I think there's nothing wrong with that. That is not a game that I could participate in, right? Like, that's not a game that will work for me. But I'm not mad that that game happens. I don't say, "How dare you have a game like that?" I'm like, do have it. It's just not going to be a game for me. Let me know that that's what we're going for, and I understand why. I understand. There are games I know that do that on purpose, and I have no problem with it. I really don't. And I think it's really good that there are games that are like that. It's just not a game I can participate in. Like, I will not be able to function well in that game, right? Oh, thank you, Max. We will see you. The accommodation for conflicting needs is to have more of the thing so both accommodations happen at different times. That's exactly right. Yep. That's exactly right. And I think that that's, and I think about this actually quite a lot, right? That I don't think that the answer is to try to make everything for everybody, but to make sure that everybody has something, right? And if you want to go outside of neurodiversity for a moment, some people cannot play a game on East Coast time because they live in New Zealand, right? So that means not every game should be in New Zealand time or in East Coast time. Or like what should happen is there should be games in all the different time zones so that everybody has a time zone they can play in. Some games, and I was thinking about this because there was that moment when everyone was saying you have to put captions on your game or else you're like the worst. But all the captionings they're using are open captions, which you cannot turn off. And there are some people who have various auditory and visual disabilities, wherein if they see captions, they will no longer be able to process, and they won't be able to watch the show, because that's a conflict. That's how their brain is wired. There are people for whom actually those things are really bad. So closed captions are fine, where you can turn them on or turn them off. But people are not doing closed captions. They're doing open captions, which are baked in, so you can't turn them off, which means that thing that will make this game accessible for one person is going to make it inaccessible for a different person. And I'm not saying don't have open captions. I mean, really, I would say if you can do closed captions, that's way better. You should probably do closed captions. But just know that thing that will make it accessible for one person will make it inaccessible for a different person. There are people who cannot have horror. They can't. It's too traumatizing. And they should not be in horror games. And it's okay. We need to have games that are like happy. Oh, by the way, this game that I'm going to be on Monday, I'm going to be on a game Monday. Overgrown. It's supposed to go for a light, family-friendly sort of vibe. So if you're looking for like a wholesome, family-friendly sort of we're all playing animals vibe, that should be the game. Now, I do not know if the GM is going to be able to do that, because the GM does not tend to do wholesome, family-friendly games. They tend to go for like dark angst. But our mandate is to make some wholesome critters. I've made a wholesome critter, so we'll see if we can actually sort of do it. But I think that that's the thing, right? That there should be games that are only an hour long. There should be games that are 4 hours long. There should be games that are wholesome. There should be games that are dark. There should be games that are horror. There should be games that are melodrama. There should be games that are consistent. There should be games that are not consistent. There should be, all the things. They should all be available so that people can find the thing that works best for them. That's all. That's all. That's it. You know what I mean? And people should be thoughtful about what they're doing, why they're doing it, and they should communicate what they're doing. And yeah, that's it. And I think, so for example, I know some people, no, all must be only to my taste. That's the thing. And I'll say this is really interesting. I know some people who are really bad with numbers. Like, they're really bad with numbers. They have a really hard time with numbers. And they are players in RPGs, and they often have a hard time, because they're often being put in games they're very sort of like mathy, number heavy, and that's really hard for them. They like dyscalculia. And I thought, when I heard that, I was like, okay, let me think. Good society. One of the reasons why it's so important for me to check out as many RPGs as possible of different styles and different time periods and different countries is because if somebody says to me, I have dyscalculia and I really cannot handle numbers, I want to be able to think, okay, what would be the best game that I could choose that would work for them? And I know some games like that, right? And I've worked really hard to be able to sort of find games. If somebody's like, yeah, I really have a hard time with numbers, I'd be like, okay, I know games for you. If somebody's like, I really have a hard time with theater of the mind, because they're those people who cannot form images in their mind. I know some people. Hey, Nugget, how are you? So I want to tell you something. I don't know if you've noticed this, but when I commissioned the artwork for the Gamblers, I put the little character artwork on the player frames for the Gamblers. Do you know why I do that? I don't just do that because it's cool. I do that because I have a friend who has face blindness and has a really hard time telling people's faces apart. So many RPG streams are not particularly good for them because they have a really hard time telling apart people's faces. So I put the cartoon art there so they can distinguish people, because they can distinguish cartoons easier from actual people. So that's why I put it on there. I put it on there actually for accessibility purposes. And once I found out that that was a thing that made their life easier as a viewer, then I did it. I can't always do it because I can't always commission artwork, you know? But I do try to do things that will help. But that's the thing that most people don't even really think about. And I also recognize that not everybody can do that, because not everybody is either an artist themselves or can commission art, or it's just a one shot or that kind of thing. It kind of depends on where you're at. But I think that, like, for me, the long and short of it is that do your best to learn about different people's needs. Do your best to fulfill those needs as best you can. But note that maybe you can't do that for every game. But do the what, and some of them you can't. I can do this need for this game, but this need for the other game, and just do your very best to try to make the table, the best table that you can. That's it, you know? And I also think, and by the way, that's also why I do both long games and short games, so I can do different things. Because I know that there are players that I want to play with who can't play in horror games. And so I want to make sure I can do a short game that they can do that in. Like, I really try to mix it up so that I can get different needs. And I really do, and I will say this, and I understand that this is what it is, but I really am a table-first GM. And I understand that some people might think that's terrible because then I'm excluding people, but actually it allows me to include people in the best way, right? That I was like, I want to run this game. Who would have the most fun with this game? Who would love this game? Who would enjoy this game the most? Then I will pick those people and be like, hey, here's a game that I think you would really love, and I really think that you would enjoy playing with each other. How is that for you? Rather than in some ways what is a very old school approach, like by the way, I'm going to go. The very old school approach is you have a fixed set of people who may not even get along with each other and also not like the same things. And then you just have to play you just play with them. And they maybe should not be at the same table together. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that was my life playing D&D in the 80s. I was playing with some people I should not have been playing with, and we were playing games we should not have been playing. But we were all on the same table together. Do you know what I mean? And my life was much better. My life has been so much better now that I'm like, let's make the table, and then we go from there. And if, like, there are people that I want to play X game with, and then we find people who want to do that, and then there are people, and those people would never want to play game Y, so I don't play game Y with them. I play game Y with other people who want to play game Y. And that is, I have to say, that I'm very privileged. Right? I have a lot of privilege in that I now play primarily online, so that I can play, like, we're going to be doing an arena game, and I know Crone's going to be in it, and I'm very excited for that. And I know that I'm going to be playing Shadows of Estrin at some point in time. There's various things I know I'm going to do, and I get to go and play. Now I get to find the people who want to play those games, right? I will say, because Nugget was there, and Nugget is in the Good Society game, which I'm so excited about, because we're coming back on Wednesday. And back in the day, Good Society did not exist. But the people I was playing with back in the day, they would never have played Good Society. They would never have done that. And then I would never have been able to play Good Society, and then I would be sad. But now I can find people who want to play it, and that's really good. So I'm very happy to be in a position in my life with the technology we have and with how it's been, that I can find people who want to play these kind of weird games that I love to play, and that when I was growing up, I couldn't get people to play because they only wanted to play D&D. And now I can do that. And I understand that I'm very privileged and lucky, that I am very, very lucky to be in that position, because not everybody is, but it works for me really well. And I know that it doesn't work for other people very well. So as long as we have the options, then I'm good. Yeah. I just found I'm going to be the GURPS Arena. I mean, Krellin. I mean, look, no pressure. You don't have to be in the GURPS Arena, but I'm hoping that you will be. Yeah, that's all. Okay. I am so glad that I'm so glad to have Nugget in this Good Society game. I really enjoy playing Good Society with Nugget, and I feel like Nugget's having a good time and I'm having a good time. So D&D is a good fallback personally, but I always most prefer to play other systems. I understand that because of familiarity. I probably, if I were to run D&D again, I probably would run first edition AD&D because I haven't done that in a while, and I think it would be an interesting thing. It would be an interesting experiment. But yeah, I would probably do it as a short shot experiment because I'd want to sort of like explore that. But I might want to run 13th Age instead. Anyhow, that's not the point. I gotta go. Is what I have to do. That's what I have to do. See, Nugget. Okay. This is what I mean. So Nugget's only played 3.5 and 5e, and I know a lot of people who've only played 3.5 and 5e, and 1e is really different, and it's really different. And I'd be interested, and I'd also be interested in running BECMI, the red box, because you get to create keeps and that kind of stuff. There's that whole realm management element to it that I think is sort of interesting. And would I do it as a long campaign? I don't know. I would probably run it as a 6-episode thing. 6 to 8 maybe, something like a short season, maybe like a full season, but just one, and see if people want to do a second, because it is a very different game with a very different aesthetic. And I think it would be interesting to revisit it, since I haven't played it in so long, to revisit what it's like when not everybody levels up at the same time, when you die more easily, but the challenges are different and how that works. I think it would be an interesting experiment to get people who have never played first edition and some people who have to sort of, but like, by the way, to be very clear, not jerks. I would not want to play first edition with people who are jerks, but people who are cool and fun. Like cool, fun people who want to play first edition and like, you know what I mean? Like that would be my goal. Okay, I'm gonna go put on my costume. But I'm actually gonna shower, shave, put on my costume, get myself ready. I'm going. So, I love you all. Here's where you can find me next. You cannot find me in the stream that I'm doing in an hour and 15, because that's offline, but it will be airing. That'll be Our Brilliant Ruin, running on Saturdays at Stella Luna's channel, next Saturday, and the Saturday after 8 p.m., I think. You can also find me on Monday at 2 p.m. on The Wandering Inn for Overgrown. They're very wholesome, Redwall-inspired We're Critters game. I'm being a rabbit, and I am very much hoping that my last rabbit costume bit has arrived. I'm playing an old rabbit. I'm actually not a rabbit. I'm a hare. Don't worry about it. But I'm old. I'm an old rabbit. And one last hurrah. And then 8:30 p.m. on Eastern over on Wandering DM's channel will be the series finale of Montreal by Night, where you will learn some secrets about my vampire. Pretty sure, and some secrets about all sorts of things. And then on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern over at Laugh Love Lindy will be our second session of Good Society, Reading Between the Lines, which if you haven't seen it, you can jump in now. They're going to be creating new characters. They'll be creating their downstairs characters, their servants, and we're going to go through the same event that we did in the very first session, but from the servant side, and there'll be more drama, and that'll be really fun. You should watch it. It's a great group. Then Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern on my channel will be the season finale of The Gamblers, our Traveler Pirates of Drynex campaign. There was an assassination, and we're in combat rounds, so we're going to check all that out. It'll be really good, and they're going to deal with some things, and we're going to find out what those things will be, what the next season will look like. And then you can find me, and then the Saturday will be Our Brilliant Ruin. So that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm not going to raid anybody because I've got to go do a quick shower and get into Victorian Edwardian gear. I'm playing a vaudevillian male impersonator, and you will meet my character, Stormy King, next week. I'll advertise it. It'll be fine. But I want to thank everybody for being here. You all are so lovely. We did not get where we wanted to go this time in the Rain World, but we will next time. Everybody, thanks. You're awesome. Join the Discord. Hang out with me. Chat with me. This is a video game. This is a video game stream, which I can up my video game streams. Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, I will be playing Disco Elysium. So come and hang out with me then too. And you're great, everybody. I will catch you all on the flip side, and bye.